Good afternoon. Happy Victory Monday, Dolphins fans. Welcome back to a special edition of Dolphins on 5. I'm David Eversole, joined, of course, by Alfredo Arteaga from 3 Yards Per Carry. Wanted to bring you a little bit of news and notes from Mike McDaniel's afternoon press conference today with the latest on Tua Tagovailoa and just the state of the team heading into, obviously, a big rematch of Buffalo on Sunday after a slugfest, if you will, against the Jets, an 11-6 nail biter to get that last playoff seed for the Dolphins. So a lot of exciting things to talk about, and we wanted to start the week off right to bring you the latest from the Mike McDaniel press conference. So thank you, Alfredo, for joining me today, and let's get the latest in the press conference. So what's your first main takeaway from the coach's words today?
The main takeaway that we took is that he said, ask me all these questions again on Wednesday. Another thing that he talked about was Raheem Mostert's injury, which seems to be the worst case scenario. He was telling people after the game that it was just a jam. It turns out he actually did break his thumb, and I guess they were going to schedule a surgery very quickly. Now you hear surgery and you think to yourself, "Wow, that must mean that he's out for the year." Usually, it's not the case when you break a thumb. When you break a thumb, usually they either put you in a full wrist cast or you have surgery. And if you have surgery, they put you like in a splint that basically covers your hand. And it's essentially a tape job that goes over your hand. Naturally, you're a running back. You kind of need your fingers. So if it's your right hand, uh, oddly enough, if you're gonna play, you're gonna have to carry the ball on your left hand. If you're gonna carry it, or you're gonna use proper run etiquette when you get handoffs, and you're gonna run to the right, you're probably gonna have to cover it with both hands. So that puts his availability for Sunday completely in doubt. The name that everybody wants to hear about is about Tua Tagovailoa, of course. Mike McDaniel revealed that he had not pass protocol as of yet, but that's something that usually you find out. The last time that happened, you found out about it when he just showed up on the field one day and they said, "Oh yeah, he passed protocol and he's cleared to do physical activity." It'll be pretty much the same thing. We'll learn a lot more by Wednesday when he does his availability, or more importantly, Wednesday when they're on the field and everybody just starts looking onto the field to see if he's wearing a red jersey. If he is, that's a good sign. If he's not, it's not a good sign.
And there's different stages in terms of the protocol, correct? He's in the stage 3 of 5.
Yeah, it's stage 3 of 5, but to say that it's a methodical thing that takes days to get to one stage to another, that's just not true. It's something that can go pretty quickly. It can go from stage 3 to stage 5 rather quickly, but stage 5 is the most important. Without stage 5, if you're not there, which they could get there, but if you're not there, he can't play because he has to be cleared for physical activity. Without that, he can't be on the practice field. And this team obviously and has shown all year long, if you don't practice, especially by Thursday, you're probably not going to be active for the game.
And probably the second key injury that everybody's going to be watching is Terron Armstead. Was there any updates from McDaniel on him?
There wasn't much on Terron Armstead. That there'll be more on that. He always says he has the same line on Terron Armstead. Maybe he'll be ready. Maybe he won't be ready. But he doesn't necessarily need practice. But he's the guy that sucks it up. So he has the same company line on Terron Armstead all year long. I would have expected him to play last week. The only thing that was rather ominous was the last second change from questionable to game time decision. It seemed like a downgrade. That it's not in the injury report. Usually you go from questionable to doubtful, and whenever you get that doubtful designation, it's almost certain that you're not going to play. This last week, Terron Armstead went from questionable to a game time decision, which I didn't know that game time decision was a designation in between questionable and doubtful, but I guess they created one. I would expect him to play this week. If he was getting close to playing last week, it's usually pointing in the right direction. That's usually how it works and has worked with Terron Armstead all year, is that he gradually gets better toward actually suiting up and playing. He also has a habit of being active on his Instagram account and his Twitter account the weeks that he is playing, and he's actually active there this week. So take that as a good sign, I guess.
Yeah, and obviously we had the news today that Damar Hamlin was released from the hospital. I know Mike McDaniel had some nice words to say about him. So can you give us a little bit of your thoughts on that and kind of the tone that he took in acknowledging Damar?
Yeah, it's been remarkable to get to where we've been since that injury, right? And he was talking about, it's remember the NFL is just one giant fraternity. If he's available to be on at the game, it's going to be a lift for the Buffalo Bills, but it'll be a lift for the Miami Dolphins as well. They're part of the NFL fraternity. It'll be a great thing to see if he's available, maybe even for the coin toss. Something like that would be great. He's on IR, but he's still an active member of the team, so it's conceivable that he could do something like that if the doctors clear him. If he can go out there for the coin toss, that would be a pretty cool thing. I think. So we shall see. But it's been great. He's discharged, which means we're kind of completely out of the woods. Now it's just about monitoring and making sure you're doing all the right things in between. So if the doctors clear him, it should be a fun scene on Sunday at 1 o'clock.
Yeah, remarkable to see his prognosis improve day to day. I mean, it was only a week ago that this all unfolded, obviously, so it's really, inspiring to see him and him continuing to improve and thrive. So the next conference will be Wednesday. So can you give us a little bit of a recap on the schedule that's going to lead up to Buffalo?
Yeah, they should be. They had Victory Monday, which means nobody was supposed to be in the building, but many show up. To do some weight training, to get some treatment. I would expect some light work on Tuesday, but Wednesday should be the first day of full practice, and we're going to get a lot of questions answered on Wednesday. They'll practice Thursday. They'll practice Friday. There'll be availabilities on Wednesday and Friday. I don't know, since it's a playoff week, maybe we get an availability on Thursday. They'll go dark on Saturday, as they'll be traveling on Saturday morning, I would expect, unless they travel Friday afternoon after practice. That's another possibility. And then, of course, you have the game on Sunday. So, it's pretty much the same work week that you would get during a regular season, except that you add maybe a day of media availability.
Yeah, so I think it was a little bit of a break for them to get that Sunday 1 o'clock versus a Saturday. Obviously, that extra day to recover and prepare for, what's going to be the biggest game for this team in 6 years. So we're all excited that they made it. It wasn't the way we obviously expected them to get there after such a promising 8-3 start, but you're in the dance. It's just it's one and done. So you win one and you go to the next. So we'll have a lot of updates between now and then, and probably another show here on Wednesday to bring you the latest on Tua and the news from the team. So want to thank Alfredo for joining me and everybody for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.